Good evening, everyone. How you doing? So, welcome to Vanguard Tactics. I'm Stephen Box, and on this episode of this lockdown live, I'm going to answer your 40k related questions. So, as you know, I have been going live every single day throughout this lockdown period and answering your questions. I'm having a little bit of interference here, so I'm just bear with me. Having a slight couple of technical issues. So if you're in the chat, if you could let me know that if you can hear me now, okay, that would be fantastic. Yeah, very sorry if it was a little bit laggy there. Hopefully we can get that sorted. If not, I'll just re-go live. Let me know in the chat. Am I back to normal now? Let me know. So we've got Henrik, Wayne, McKee, Trevor. Yeah, hi Stephen, loud and clear. Excellent. Right, cool, perfect. So sorry about that, guys. It does freak me out. I'm not going to lie. When it all happens, I'm like, no. Obviously, yeah, don't know what goes on with that. So anyway, guys, look at the new neon lights I got just for you guys, just to make these videos a bit more entertaining. Yeah. Look at it. These things are great, by the way. So plan is now to get the entire studio done with this really cool lighting. And if we so wish, I can change the color. So we can go for a, we can just get it flashing. I mean, if you want a disco, there we go, look. If you want orange. No, that's more like green. Come on, orange. Okay, there we go, orange. So yeah, some loads of good options there. Yeah, but we're gonna keep it turquoise or teal because that is the new Vanguard Tactics main color. So anyway, what have I been up to today? I've been sat at my desk all day once again, and yeah. Got a very exciting announcement. The Vanguard Tactics Academy now has an app for all of the students. So once you join the Academy, and the link is below if you do want to join, then you get access to the app. It says, and I've completely revamped it to make it look super fresh, super clean, got loads of additional features added in there. So it tells you how to download the app and everything. So you can get the app on your phone at any time you so wish. So super excited about that. That's kind of what I spent my day working on. And then you get this brought to you, really cool screen there. You get obviously both courses, the ITC one and the regular one, or the main academy. And then once you're on that, you then get all the lessons inside. So you can watch these at any time you want. And there is a new Space Marine one just come out. So that released today, got that edited and up, and it is looking pretty sweet. So yeah, revamped all that today. And that's kind of what I've been working on. So didn't quite get the day off that I'd planned, but to be fair, I've really enjoyed today, and I've had a great day at work. So yeah, I enjoy every day at work. If I didn't enjoy it, I probably wouldn't do it. So yeah, I have really enjoyed it. So yeah, guys, ask me your 40k related questions if you have any. We have a good email actually come in. That I'm going to highlight, and I think that'd be great to discuss. Also, let me know, guys, I'm thinking about getting a logo on the back of that wall there, so it slightly comes off the wall, and I could even put lights behind it. I could do that, and I'm tempted to. So if you think a good Vanguard Tactics logo right there would be sweet, then let me know in the chat, and I'll get it done. I'm going to speak to Foreground, and I'm going to be like, right, we need to make a really cool acrylic logo to mount on the wall. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. So yeah, definitely need a haircut as well. That's key. And I think as soon as you guys and me are wrapped up, I'm going to go for a long walk because I haven't done that and I want to make sure I'm getting some exercise, but did start the new diet today. So really watching what I'm eating, cutting my calories down a little bit, and yeah, just going to trim up a little bit, basically feel a little bit better for it. And when hopefully lockdown is over, I can get back into the gym and start just enjoying myself there and getting back into the kind of shape that I was once in. Obviously, I've kind of probably lost a little bit of my size and muscle mass, but hopefully it'll come back very, very quickly when I get back into the gym. So yeah, but I don't want to eat too much during this time because I am obviously a lot more sedentary and I'm obviously not training. So yeah, need someone on those walls who agree. Also, I'm thinking about completely repainting it white. This is like a sort of magnolia color, and I'm not really a fan of magnolia, so I'm thinking just a clean white. That'll be good. Big black logo on the back wall there, all lit up, all nice. That could be pretty cool. So yeah. So what questions have we got in the chat? All you need is a life-size Primera Space Marine statue behind you. Yeah, sure, not a problem. Oh, also what I'm going to do is get some lights to go inside the into the glass cabinets there, so then you guys can see the goodness. You can just, you can see the goods on display then as well. So I'm going to figure out how I need to do that. So yeah, that's the other thing on the cards. Oh, and I've ordered. Here's the other thing I did today. I ordered new top of the range mugs. Yeah. And they look incredible. They're like stainless steel. They've got like this topper on it so that they're like a travel mug. They look like a really good size. They don't have a handle, so it's like a nice sort of great shape to it. It's stainless steel. It's got this kind of black, and then it's embossed and engraved with the Vanguard Tactics logo, and then Vanguard Tactics written on the back. So going to be getting 10 of them. They're going to be limited edition. Because quite frankly, I'm just going to do very, very small runs of them. I'm having one, Mark's having one, Jack's having one. I think Joe wants one, so that's 4. Then I'm not sure if Ben, I don't think drinks coffee, so I don't think he'll need one. He might want one just to put water in, but then the others may be either given away as prizes for, as you know, points mean prizes. Anyway, or I may sell them to you guys. So if you want a real sweet Vanguard Tactics mug to go to your events, then I will do those. And then I'm going to do kit as well. Obviously, we're going to do caps. I definitely need another cap because I wear this one a lot. Probably could do with a fresh one. Get it all branded up and looking sweet. So anyway, completely gone off topic today already. What is the best Dreadnought loadout for an anti-tank in Deathwatch? That's a tough one. I'd be tempted with just triple Venerable Dreads. And the reason for that is because I think they're pretty points efficient. They die quick, but they're pretty points efficient. And if they do get the other treatment that all the other Space Marines got, they could be a little bit better. And with a twin las cannon and just either heavy, like a combat fist, there's a bit of a combat, punch, good. Then you've got 6 twin las there, hitting on 2s, re-rolling misses because of the old Watchmaster there. That could be all right. And they're, cheapest chips. So, and the best reason why I'm saying this is because I personally think that the Get Started box for Deathwatch is incredible. I think that is great value. And I picked up 3 of those. So because you get 10 vets in there, you get a Venerable Dread, and you get Artemis, which you can convert into, a Watch Captain with a jump pack. Give them a either Thunderhammer or Power Fist, whatever you want, or I actually take a Relic Blade on mine and give him a Storm Bolter, so that's pretty cool. So you could just swap that gun for a Storm Bolter. You could make another one into a Watch Master running with a Guardian Spear. That could be looking pretty cool as well. So you've got these two guys. You could probably even convert the next one into a Black Shield or something in your veteran squads, just to identify them to be a little bit different. And then I would probably buy the Space Wolf Get Started box, because in that box you get 3 aggressors, a Primaris Captain who's got a cool axe and he looks quite cool, and then you get 10 intercessors. So I think that's quite good as well. And then I'd probably pick up a box of maybe the full Get Started box, where you get like the Death Guard and them in it, because you get another 3 Inceptors that can be useful, some Hellblasters and some other captains and stuff that you could do some cool conversions with. And then you've probably got enough intercessors then to run 3 units of Primaris vets tooled out to be aggressors or Inceptors, whichever loadout you want to go. And then you've obviously got the 3 boxes of the Get Started stuff for the Deathwatch Marines. Give them all obviously Storm Bolters and Storm Shields, or convert the bolters. What I did was, on their guns, rather than having barrels side by side, it's enough so you can put them like that, so you can still put 2 barrels on. Okay, so that's all you need to do, is add another barrel really to be a Storm Bolter, and you can get away with it. So I would do that, do some cool conversions. Happy days. Yeah, nice. That's what I would do if I was starting Deathwatch anyway. And I cannot wait to playtest with them as well when I get their new rules. Looking forward to that. Here we go. Oh, Jack said Blood Angels Red. Should we try that? Let's try the Blood Angels Red. Here we go. Boom. Oh, look at that. Blood Angels. Yeah. Maybe what I could do is light up the background depending on what I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about orcs, we're going for green. If I'm talking about Blood Angels, it's red. Emperor's Children, pink. No, hang on a minute. That's purple. What I have to do. Doesn't quite, I'll be honest, doesn't quite look like, I mean, that looks like pink to me, don't you think? That looks like purple. Not quite correct, is it? Right, here we go. So what questions we got? Let's get in the mix. Okay, so Michael was said, Stephen, 40k question. Okay, I'm on it. What do you think about the Corvus Black Star as a gunboat? I love the model. Probably one of my favorite models in the game. It just looks so slick, like so good. I just wish that it had Power of the Machine Spirit. That's what it lacks, Power of the Machine Spirit. If it gets Power of the Machine Spirit, then you're onto a winner, I think, with that thing. It's got the bombs on it you can drop. It's got the twin assault cannons, I think, or twin las cannons. It's got the Hurricane Bolter options. It's pretty nice, yeah. And it's got good transport capacity as well. So to, put your vets around. And again, I wish you were allowed to put your Primaris Marines in it. I wish that the Corvus was like dual capacity, and that would be a really cool, unique thing for the Corvus, that it could take either or vets or Primaris. So, but anyway, what do I know, eh? What do I know? But yeah, I like it. I think one, you could definitely squeeze in, make it work. And if they do get the stratagem for 1 CP to ignore the modifiers, or basically ignore moving and shooting, then you, for 1 CP, you pretty much get exactly what you want. So it could be okay. Then it's feasible if you've only got 1. So okay, Lucas said, "Evening, Stephen. What do you think is the knowledge level required for your academy? Back after an age away, and getting any game time is pretty impossible during this annoying global." So, what I would say is, if you keep up with all the stuff I talk about at the moment, then you're probably going to be able to easily keep up with the Academy content, because I have designed it in such a way that Module 1 builds on the Module 2. Module 2 builds on to Module 3, Module 4, Module 5, Module 6, Module 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's going to keep going. So like with, I train to be a teacher. Okay, so I kind of designed the course as if it was that, but you're also going to learn, this is for me where the real value is in the community. So many like-minded people in there who all just want to be a little bit better. Every time you submit your list on a Thursday, I'll give you critiques, go away, refine it. So all the time you're going to be able to interact with the daily lessons, the daily challenges, and you're going to feel like you're actually playing 40k, although you're technically not at the moment. All right. Then at week 3, you get access to the advanced tactics, which you can just start to copy the movement patterns and things like that I talk through. Okay. And then on all the videos, like I don't go over, for example, every single stratagem or anything like that. Like all that information's out there to listen to if you want it. I give you my critical overview of what will work for certain builds. Okay, so if you want to play a defensive way, this is how you're going to sort of bring all this in together. So that's kind of what I sort of talk about in more the advanced level. All right, anyway, let's go back to teal. I think that's a much better color. So hopefully that answers your question, and again the link is below, so check it out. Robert said a full-size Lehman Russ tank behind you. Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah. McKee said he would love to do the same with his reptiles logo. Bendura question: if you were starting an orc army today, what would you run? The typical boy blob, or maybe there's something more interesting that's crossed your mind? What would I do if I was running orcs? I like tank busters. I would try and make flash gits work, because I think they're pretty cool as well. And then maybe even meganobs. Just meganobs for days. Meganobs, boys, and super war boss with maybe 3 shock attack guns in the back. Just, if I ever rolled well. I mean, we're talking probably once in 100 games, but that day I did. You lot are all going to know about it. I'm going to be like, guys, you'll never guess what happened. I rolled a 12 on the strength, and I just killed everything. So, that day it happened, you guys will be the first people to know. So, maybe 3 shock attack guns. Smasher guns are great now, by the way, because they get an inbuilt 6-up fill no. If you take them in a special detachment, you get a 6-up invulnerable save, and you also get reroll 1s, basically for free. That's what Psychic Awakening giving you. And the recording I did yesterday with Mr. Rich Kilton, he's like one of the best orc players I know, a very good friend of mine, and we got him on to chat orcs. We had a great episode. I'm going to release it as a video, maybe a podcast as well, who knows, but it's so good and it's so funny. Literally me and Rich were just literally laughing the entire way through that recording. It was epic for about an hour. Comedy gold for an hour. Stephen Rich, or as I'm going to call him, Slazbag from now on. Okay, so night the day 33. What are your thoughts on future competitive rules or current rules that need to be addressed? I don't actually think any rules really need a huge addressing anymore. I think with the Marines being, like nerfed or whatever, or amended, I think that's good. I would like fortifications to change in the way that they operate. I would like to see, if you've got like I'm just going to move to the left a bit so we can get more of the lighting in, basically. So the fortifications, I think that if your army can take a specialist fortification or a faction-specific fortification, you should be able to take 0 to 1 choice for free. That's what I think. Like, I don't think you should take up a slot, basically. So orcs can take their shop thing. Sisters can take the Battle Sanctum, which is down under there, which, by the way, is massive. I'm going to show you how big this model is, just because I wasn't aware how giant this piece of terrain is. So, oh, by the way, this is my sister that I painted with the dry brush. I don't know if I'm really happy with it, but I'm going to show you anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of okay, I think. Oh. So I was using my coffee mat here to try and show you this, but I mean, it kind of came out okay, I think, but I went for like a sort of dibby-dabby effect, as you can see there. Oh, it's trying to get my face. I need to cover up the face and put this in front of it. But yeah, the cloak looks quite nice. So I did like a stipple effect to see how that came out with the bone and everything. But I quite like the red and the cloak, and the face came out okay as well. But yeah. So anyway, that's going to be my Canoness for the Ebon Chalice detachment. Although I started painting it, and I realised I hadn't actually equipped the second half of the hand in book. So I was like, oh dear. Anyway, this is how big it is. Look, it also doubles up as a complete face mask. See? Huge. Massive. And that is the size of her on that. Huge. Yeah. Just gigantic. Unfortunately, though, these don't block line of sight. But it could be great just to move block something. If they've got like a knight and if there's 2 pieces of terrain, you're like, this is going to go there, and I'm blocking it off. You can't move here. Yeah. Okay. What else have we got? What other questions have we got? Simon English has said, getting back into 40k, I like melee, so Blood Angels interest me. However, I feel like souping them with a shooty artillery space marine chapter to enjoy both world or have a second army. Any suggestions? Simon. Now, I've said this. I've had this question, I think, every single live I've ever done now. You stay pure, okay? You don't go souping it up, yeah? Just stay true to the Blood Angels, okay? Sanguinius, he wouldn't like it if you started dibbling and dabbling, yeah? Just wants to keep it in-house, okay? Pure Blood Angels. There are obviously ways you can soup in some Blood Angels to any faction. They've got some nice little tricks and some combos that some armies just don't get access to. However, I just prefer it that way. I like to keep it all together. I think it's much more thematic. And also, this is one thing that, like, I personally like. I get to the tabletop and somebody goes, oh, that's a really cool Blood Angel army. That looks cool. Like, and then regardless of, you know, whether they win, lose or draw, whatever, they don't walk away feeling like, oh, well, Steve just took the best of everything. And yeah, do you know what I mean? So I personally like that, the way to play the game. I like a thematic army. I like to spend time painting it, as you know, like I try to improve my skills, whatever. So I do like to run pure armies. I think it's much more thematic. I would love to actually see GW do what they've done for Marines, but for every faction, to make sure that if you do go pure, there really are some good benefits to staying pure as well. Because I think armies, you know, it would just keep them a little bit more of an incentive to take them rather than plugging, because the reason why you would soup is to plug weaknesses. But the thing is, with the Blood Angels, I don't think that they need the artillery. I really don't think they need that. I nearly ran a White Scars captain and a librarian, so that if I need to, the librarian can access different powers that are useful, and whether it's like ignore Overwatch, and the captain could stop units from falling back. So that helps me avoid getting or making sure I get my wraps off. Okay, so that would be something that I would look into. But then I weighed it up and I was like, no, I don't want to do that, because then I'm having to spend a lot of points and a lot of investment. I'd rather just take more models, to be perfectly honest. So I'd rather have more models on the table, essentially. But that's my thoughts. Yep. Devon Hoff finally caught the stream. How you doing? From Arizona. My question for you: what event in 40k, a release, story, progression, whatever, is the most memorable for you? What event in 40k is most memorable? I don't know if I have one really. Yeah, I do need to read more books. Like, my lore knowledge isn't great in terms of overall, it's not amazing. Like, I couldn't tell you much about 30k characters and who did what, who's friends with whom, who betrayed somebody, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just a bit like Facebook, you know, all crazy stuff's happening all the time. So I don't know. I need to read a little bit more. I suppose the book that I really did enjoy was the Jane Czar book, when she like met up with a Suruman, and he was like portrayed as like an old man, I think, and then sort of tricked her, and then they became best buds, and Araman like took her under his wing, and then they just went round just accruing all of the other Phoenix. They found like Magman Ra, who was like a librarian, I think, or something like that, or equivalent at the time. And then he found this big shuriken cannon, and then they were being like absolutely swamped by demons, and it was looking pretty grim for him. And then old Magman Ra came out with his shuriken catapult, and he was like, it just cleaned everyone up basically. And then they were like, wow, yeah. So, but I could have got that completely wrong. But in my head, that's how the story went. Okay, so look, stories that are there to be interpreted, right? I think. Christian has said, so I think Death Watch actually has some overlooked hidden buffs. Mate, absolutely. Like, nobody ran Death Watch. Nobody ran them. And then I took them to that GT a couple of years ago and smashed it. Launched this YouTube channel basically off that, how I did with that army. And then all, you know, I still think they're really good. I really like Death Watch. They're really like toolboxy. They're just, the armor's cool as well. It's like black and just, as you can see, you know, I think I like the aesthetic of it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Zeka said, why not use the mugs as part of a prize for those in the program who show improvement? I like it. Yeah, we could do something like that. Absolutely. Pro Marley, hey man, I'm late, but I'm here and we'll try and spell all my words right today. Not a problem. And don't worry about it. I can't spell great either. So we're all friends here. We are all friends. Nobody judges on poor spelling. And if they do, then, you know, we're all learning, okay? I'm also not very good at reading either. Not a massive strong point on my part. Steve has said, sorry for the long post, but I watched a game versus new rules, Death Watch. Transhuman on a kill team may be broken. My entire squad just crashed against 2 kill teams multiple times and bounced off. Steve, what were you running? Tell me. 2+, 3+, toughness 5, wounding them on force, thoughts. They're very expensive though, and there are some matchups, right? This is what you got to think about with Death Watch. I've got a super itchy beard, by the way, so sorry. Oh, my screen is just died. Oh, here we go, back again. So Deathwatch they're like a real, in my experience of using them, they're really swingy into, I've had situations where I've rocked up and I've just been shot by bolt guns and I've got my 3+ invulnerable save and I've just rolled a shed load 1s and 2s and I just lost a 250 point unit to a tactical squad. Yeah, that happens. They're very swingy. If you roll poorly on those 3+ invulnerable saves, gone. Similarly, you can roll really hot and then just be like, cool, nothing died. Yeah. So they can be very swingy like that. And the other thing as well with Deathwatch is they are very good at killing anything which has the infantry keyword or monster. Not so great against vehicles. So against a vehicle heavy list, they really, really struggle. So if you were playing a infantry list, then yeah, they're probably going to beat you and especially if you're a Xenos player, because yeah, they've got so many buffs against you. But that's thematic. That's cool. That's what they should do. So, but in terms of a tournament play, they're what you call as like a gatekeeper list, because if they get all the right matchups, they could go to the top. But the likelihood is they won't. The likelihood is they will play a knight player. They will play a triple repulsor list, and they'll just go, oh dear, this is my chances going to be, over, or you have to play out of your skin. And actually, myself and Jack and Mark did a really good, interesting podcast. It came out this morning. Oh, that was the other thing I got out was the podcast. I forgot about that. I've had a pretty productive day today, actually, seeing it's only 6 p.m. So yeah, give a listen to that, because I share a story about when I played my Deathwatch versus an absolute gent. Okay, we had a fantastic game. One of my favorite games of all time. And we're still very good friends today. But have a listen to that and listen to that story that we tell you about. And I think that, yeah, you enjoy it. JP Wargaming. Played a few more games on TTS now, but I'm getting outranged by deployment for my salamanders. I take long-ranged and hungry for battle. But against gun lines, is there any way to get around this? I mean, I think really you've just got to, in your head, sacrifice any turn 1 or maybe even turn 2 shooting. Yeah, you're just going to try and get board control. So just accept it that you're probably not going to get a kill turn 1. Okay, you probably won't get a kill turn 2 either. But then turn 3 onwards, it's your game. It's your game to play. Yeah. So you've got to just think about strategy. You don't have to win the game turn 1. You're also not out of the game turn 1 either. So yeah, bear that in mind. It's all about finding that stride with that army. Yeah. So when I'll give you an example, completely off topic, but anyway, as you know, when I used to play hockey, field hockey, this is not ice hockey, my level of fitness was pretty decent. Okay. Now, my ability to sprint was definitely my best asset. I would score more goals in the last 15 minutes. I was a striker, but I would score more goals in the last 15 minutes than I would all game. All day, I would just constantly tire out my defender, knowing that in the last 15 minutes is my play. And if I ever subbed myself off to rest, then my fellow striker knew the game plan. He would do exactly the same, tire out defender, just run, just run, just keep running, keep jogging. Get him absolutely shattered. 15 minutes, he can't catch you anymore, and bang, every single time. So it's a real late game play, and salamanders play exactly the same. So there's a little analogy for you. Treetop Tarantulas is liking the lights. Thank you very much. Not an Inquisitor. I made a janky combo flamers for my salamander sergeant by cutting off tops of flamers and bolters and gluing the top of the flamers on the top of the gun bolter. Yeah, nice. Sounds good. The War Mistress, I hear people saying that Astra Militarum is a sleeper faction that is underrated. Do you think this is the case? If it is this pure Guard or only still as Imperium soup? So I think with Guard, they've got some really good assets. They've got orders which are incredible, like move, just makes your unit so quick. But the problem with it is that Guard really struggle by not having much fly keyword. So getting tagged is a real problem. So their damage output can be incredible. Their board control can be pretty good as well. But I do think they sometimes rely on going first. I think going second, they can be up against it a little bit because they can't like screen out the board. Bulgrin, amazing unit. I think you have to have a big unit of Bulgrin, with obviously then the Psychers to back them up. And then I really like Talon tank commanders. I think they're great. So I definitely think there's some play there, but they're an army that is going to take a lot of practice. Okay, they're not just you get them out the box and they're good to go. You know, you really have to know the movement phase. You have to know, you know, how you're going to basically stop your opponent from getting anywhere near your tanks. Because if they touch those tanks, it's game over to you, and your units do die very, very quickly. Like I've never played. I think every single guard player I've played, probably in the last year, I think I've came pretty close to either tabling them or deliberately not tabling them because I wanted max points on the ITC track. You know, and sometimes tabling your opponent is not a good thing because then you can't score maximum points for the rest of the game. So sometimes you don't want to do that. So they just die so quickly. Yes, they're toughness 8, but they still, like the infantry, just melt. And unfortunately, that is a large portion of the force, because once that's gone, then you're down to a unit of Bulgrin, which are easy to tie up in one place and just slowly churn through. But then all the tanks are exposed, and that's when that's when you come up with a bit of a problem, I think. Bobby has said, how many armies do you own? So I own a fair few, but some of them aren't finished yet. So I own a Sisters army that still needs some mortar fires and a unit of Zeppelins to be purchased, but pretty much the whole army needs to be painted. I've got an army of Grey Knights that I need to finish that video. I've been saying this for ages. It's nearly done, but I just haven't had the time to put all the content together. So Grey Knights, fully painted pretty much. Ultramarine army that I've got more models to add to, but that's also painted and good to go if I needed to. Blood Angels, Eldar, Harlequins. Again, I need to add some stuff, repaint some things, do some rebasing. I've got Orcs in a box of Grey Shame, Genestealer Cult, the same, Admech, the same. So I've got a few factions there that, I just really need to basically update with some stuff. Is there any way to make an Ironclad Dreadnought viable in an Iron Hands army? I mean, you could literally just have them in the list as a counterpunch unit. Just keep them hidden for the whole game in case anyone comes near your lines, and then you send him out. So if they've got like a knight or something that comes close, he's hidden, he's quite small, pops around, does what he needs to. So maybe just use him as a little counterpunch unit. That could be quite good to add in. Yeah. And he's quite hard to kill as well. For, let's say, orcs, whatever, you can get quite stuck into them. He'll get wrapped is the only problem. So you need to have another counterpunch unit. But yeah, it could be quite tanky in those situations. It should be a strat in the core rulebook, the same way you could sideboard assassins. Bender, what was... I'm not sure. In terms of maybe that might be in terms of the terrain piece I was talking about, perhaps. Yeah, it could work. Oh, loads of questions here. Okay, I'm going to have to whiz through these because I've already been going 40 minutes. Is it worth it to include an Inquisitor, Courtiers, Hector Rex, or Greyfax to a Blood Angel list to use powers such as Terrify, Greetings from Brazil? Terrify is okay, but again, I think you just want to take, to be honest, more Blood Angel characters if you can, or just more Blood Angel units. I think for their cost, I think like old Hector's like 100 and something points. I'd rather just take a small unit of Vanguard vets with shield so they can just go in and take the Overwatch because they're going to take it. It's not like a 50-50 chance with a power. It's reliable. And that's what I like consistency, basically. Yeah, and I'd rather get more models on the table than another character, because Blood Angels already have a lot of buffing characters, so it feels like you're adding in more, maybe unnecessarily. But by all means, test it out, see how you get on. Not an Inquisitor said, should armies start with a base number of CPs and subtract points for taking non-troop units instead of adding based on detachments? Not sure. I mean, I think it's all right how it is. Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think need to change around that too much. Brian said, I see Battle Sanctum also protects from COVID-19. Well, I mean, I wouldn't try to use it personally, but yeah, you do you, Brian. You do you. Max has said, just signed up for the mentorship. Excited to see how the 2-week trial goes. Max, excellent, mate. Obviously, like I said, if you like it, fantastic, welcome. And if you don't, that's cool as well. You know, I appreciate it's not going to be for everyone. So yeah, try it out. Let us know what you think, and just get stuck in, get amongst it. The daily lessons, I think you'll really, really enjoy, and I think will really challenge you in terms of just, well, we talk about like list of the week and pick your secondaries and stuff, and those little daily lessons. I think you'll really like enjoy those the most during the 2-week trial. The first module, you're gonna the one that you get access for free. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is I know that because obviously I know you, Max. But yeah, I think those the community lessons, so to speak, will be certainly what you enjoy the most for that time. Jack has said, I checked the list at Battlescribe. That's a nice one. Any other apps I need? So what apps have I got? I use a MathHammer app. Yeah, I use a MathHammer app called MathHammer. And I know the creator of that app. We've kind of spoken a few times, and he's probably going to come on one day, and we're going to chat about how to use MathHammer appropriately in games. So I use that one. I also like the Citadel Color app. I really like that one. This one here by Games Workshop. This is a good one. I've also got, I'm very lucky though, this app called Assault Dice. I don't think they do it anymore, but it's a dice roller. It's quite good for when you've got to roll like 200 aggressor shots. It's quite handy, this one. So they are my favorite apps for 40k. And then obviously, yeah, the Vanguard Tactics one, yeah. Josh has said, just found your channel, welcome. Was curious about your thoughts on wolves outside Impulsor Rush. Well, I don't rate the Impulsor Rush, and if you go back to a few episodes, I actually spoke about my Space Wolf. We did a podcast on Space Wolves. You can find the link in the playlist here. Look for the competitive 40k one, and also I gave away my Space Wolf list. You can check that out. But I really like Wolfen, and I think Thunderwolf Cav could be a good way to go as well. So in my list, I combined like a couple of units of Wolfen, some Wolfguard, and bikes all together, and I think could do some cool little combos of those things. Yeah. Not an Inquisitor. If the Emperor had a text to speech device, is the only lore I need. More of that, please. Adam Prince has said, yeah, he was able to jump in here. Got a question for you. Thought on the new Necron, model from last week, and then hopes for what it will be like, model rules in the prior book. So I think the model is beautiful. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Necron aesthetic personally, but it is a very cool model. It looks like a real like beefy size. So in terms of what it does, though, I don't know. I don't know what it does. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked at Necrons in a while to really kind of know what they need and hope for what it does for them. But I know they don't have any rerolls. So if it gave them like reroll misses or something, that would be pretty tasty. Yeah. Or gave them even like a +1 to their, or a feel no pain. Or if it gave them a feel no pain, that could be good. Like a 5+ feel no pain, because then they get their armor save, feel no pain, or if it gave them an invulnerable save, and then they got their stand back up. I think they would play how Necrons should play with a feel no pain and resurrection. Ooh, it'd be tasty for the Necrons. Dan would be so excited, but we're not going to tell him, okay? We're going to keep it secret. We do not want Dan playing Necrons because he's devastating with them. Yeah. So what have we got here? Robert said, well, you could play guard and watch your guardsmen die all the time, but they are cheap, so I've lots of them. Yeah, exactly that. Steve said, I was playing Blood Angels and the Terminators give 2+ to bolt of fire. The Storm Shields die to everything else. He's super with Blood Angels. They can deal with the vehicle list. Is very powerful. Yeah, if obviously they start souping in some things from like Raven Guard or Blood Angel, Smash Captains, and yeah, they can. That's how they get around it a bit, really. I actually ran, when I played in Belgium in the team event, not this year, the year before, I ran Deathwatch in Smash Captains. Yeah, it was all right. It was a good little. But also, I prefer Deathwatch in Tank Commanders. That's what I prefer. It's a bit more, again, a bit more thematic, isn't it, with the Deathwatch coming down to help out the Astra Militarum. Because it feels a bit weird just having 3 random Blood Angel Smash Captains running around with Deathwatch. Like, no, they kind of wouldn't do that, would they, really? If you're going to go thinking thematic. Because I like to be thematic and competitive. I don't know if there's a word that you could do for that. Thematic competitive, something like that. Who knows? That's how I like to play anyway. What is the hardest thing about playing orcs against orcs? Multi-charging them. That's awful because they spend those 2 CPs and you lose whatever you just multi-charged into. So that's really tough. You've got to be on it with, like, armies like Harlequins really struggle. I remember playing Co, the England player for orcs, a couple of years back with my Harlequins, and we ended up with a draw, and I was chuffed to get a draw Harlequins out of that game. But we had such a great laugh, me and Co, and ever since been great mates. But yeah, I can remember like having to make sure I was charging with only 1 unit because otherwise I lose all of them. So that's really tough, knowing where you're going to charge and trying not to let them gain too much of the board as well. Which of the new Psychic Awakening books do you still come to, or still to come, you most looking forward to? Oh, I can't wait to see what Harlequins get. Admech as well, looking forward to seeing what they get. Yeah, so either one of those really. The one rule I have an issue with is vehicles that can fly being able to fall back and shoot without taking any attacks. It bothers me that we take an Overwatch for getting into melee. I mean, I don't know. But units can leave melee without having taken attacks. I think combat would be too strong then. I really think it is, yeah, I think they would just be too strong combat armies. We'd see too much of them. It'd just be a combat game then. I think it would swing completely. Why is Gaz so overcosted? I think because they didn't want to make him just an auto take. Yeah, you have to really build around him, which is quite cool. You know, he is Gaz. He would take an army that is built around him. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like, we don't know yet. You know, in the next chapter approved, they might go, okay, Gaz was overcosted, or maybe he's undercosted. We don't know yet. We don't know. Nid player here, looking forward to some Gene Stealer Cult to my army. Which units do you think are worth picking up? I really like Atalan Bikers, or Jackal Bikers, Jackal Alphas, and the Atalan Bikers. I think they're cool. But then you can't go wrong with Acolytes either, with Rock Swords, or even Aberrants. Yeah, so many options there. We got 3, I think I just said, but so many options. But no, there are, and obviously you need the characters to support them and stuff. Look at Vigilus Defiant for the Acolyte Brood Surge, I think it's called. Check that out as well. Futuristic Kangaroo. Oh, I just read your question. Knights today, he's so expensive because he would definitely survive turn 1 shooting. Yet, how do you feel about Lamentors playing shooty Blood Angels? I mean, he's good, but you can't get a Chapter Master for reroll hits. And against certain matchups with minuses to hit, you're just not going to hit a thing, really. You can't take the Tech Marine to get +1 ballistic skill to all your vehicles either. If you could do that, I would say try it, but you can't. So don't. I mean, you can still, but I wouldn't personally, because I did look at him and I thought, oh, he's quite tasty being able to reroll wounds in a shooting list. But then Ultramarines, I think, just do it better, because there's only ever really one thing you really need to reroll wounds against, and Seal of Oath Relic is so good. Plus, you get Calgar, who gives you reroll hits and 2 CPs. So, yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel about that anyway. For Dark Angels, having seen the list you've made after Psychic Awakening, is Ravenwing the only way to go? Are Hellblasters, Aggressors, Deathwing Knights, or anything else worth a try? Yeah, I think Deathwing definitely are. Aggressors, you could have a big unit of 6, because I think they can count as stationary, I believe. I think there's some sort of relic wall or trait power, something that allows them to do that. So I think a big unit of 6 Aggressors is worth chucking in, or a unit of 5 in a Repulsor you could try out. Deathwing Knights, absolutely, coming down 6 inches away, that could work. Getting a good little charge off if you've got like a Ravenwing character bike that can shoot forward, bring them down. Yeah, and let the Ravenwing do some screen clearing. Deathwing can come down, shoot before they do stuff as well. That's quite cool. That's quite nice. Nick Cable, how you doing? Any news on your starting AOS? Well, still waiting for Elves to come out, so we're waiting for that. We're waiting for the Elves to come out, mate. Then I'll start some AOS, I think, or I'll have a dabble if I can. Yeah. Also, guys, I was going to say, I put out a post on Instagram today. If you have a well-painted army you would like to sell to Vanguard Tactics, then please let me know, as I may be interested in purchasing. It will depend on what the models are, the paint scheme, the color schemes, how you base them, how much money you obviously want for them, and all those different things. But yeah, if you feel like, you know, you've got an army, you don't really use it that much, and you would like some cash for it or whatever, and you want to sell it secondhand to the channel, or you could even gift it to us, whatever, and you want to see it on the Vanguard Tactics battle reports being used, get in contact, okay? Because I'm on the lookout for some, because I just can't paint quick enough at the moment. Jacob said, I tried some of the Emperor's Children combos over the weekend. It was quite satisfying watching a Lord kill a 15-man unit every turn by himself. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, I do really like the Emperor's Children. I think some good combos in there. JW, one of your earlier videos, you were talking about how your Blood Angels are not thrilled about taking on Eldar, but are there any other armies units that give Blood Angels trouble? Well, yes, Dark Eldar. If they've got a full army of Grotesques and Coven units, is a big problem, a big problem. It's very, very swingy. Also, a full army of Knights with no cover, that's a problem. Tau, another problem. Yeah. Primarily, do you think only paying 2 CPs for rerolls is too strong? Put it this way, if it was 3 CPs, people would still do it. Stuart Hastings, any advice for starting 40k, play OS to mid-table, tournament level, looking at Harlequins for some movement tricks? Stuart, I mean, if you're starting 40k, Harlequins are a very hard army to get to the table looking great, because you really want to do them justice. They are a very finesse army. They're very, very weak in terms of what the hit they can take. I'm still waiting for Psychic Awakening to see if they can, compete. They are a little bit hamstrung at the moment, but we'll see what Psychic Awakening brings them. If you want some movement tricks, maybe look at Genestealer Cult. I do like Genestealer Cult. I think they're a cool, fun army, and they've got loads of tricks up their sleeves. So yeah, check those out, as well as obviously Harlequins when that Psychic Awakening comes in. But check out the video I did, the overview of all the factions, because that will really help you decide which army might be for you. Right, okay. What other questions have we got here? So I'll quickly answer this last one. Andrew, with your mentorship, do you do that for armies that are not considered competitive, like Death Guard, for example? Yeah, absolutely. My goal of the academy is to ensure that everything in the game is spoke about, okay? So that you've got a really good knowledge base of, everything that's out there. And then hopefully, it'll get you very excited about playing those factions. You know, go pick up the codex, the books you need to, you know, really yield it properly. But the thing is, what I teach more of is game theory. Okay, so that's what I'm teaching, is game theory. So actually, you can take those concepts that I teach, and you can apply it to Kill Team. You could probably apply it to AOS. You could apply it to so many other situations, because yes, we discuss and, you know, chat about armies and builds like that in our community group and things. And we are going to look at in detail, you know, the factions, what they're good at, the strengths and weaknesses. But it's really the course is about understanding, like one of the modules is all about how to prepare for a tournament. So it doesn't matter what faction you play. If you put those steps in place, you will be a better Death Guard player. Does that make sense? So if you apply everything you learn, you will become a better player. So yeah, it's less about the minutiae of, you know, the stratagems and things, because obviously you can read a book for that, or you can listen to podcasts and you can gather all that information. And I don't cover like stats and things on units, because again, like there's Battle Scribe, the books, there's loads of different things you can draw on to get that. But what I talk about is like play styles. I talk about being defensive or aggressive with a certain list, which way you should go, more combat or you know, shooting, for example. And then you can obviously look at which units are good, and that's how I categorize things. So I go like intercessors are good against this, and this. But I don't put like the points down and stuff. So you can then go, okay, cool. Or Steve said that intercessors are good against this. I'll look at that as an option because I feel like this is a weakness in my list. Does that make sense? So that's kind of what I try and do. Yeah, and that's, I think, why the Academy kind of stands out, as it's a very different product to most other things out there. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call that a night of 56 minutes. This is the longest ever one. So congratulations if you made it this far. You win a pat on the back for keeping up with me and putting up with me for this long, as well as 35 days. So anyway, again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. It really means a lot to me. And hopefully you enjoyed the light show that we put on at the start. You know, that was for you. Anyway, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Tomorrow at 6, actually. Be back tomorrow. Day 36. Here we go. Take care, guys, and I'll see you later.